What's going on, y'all? It's Cute Anon back with another video. And today, we're going to be talking about white supremacy and how it's a national security threat. Well, first of all, if you really believe that, you'd have to make the claim that white people are out hunting minorities. And if they're out hunting minorities, why is it only in Democrat-ran cities, pretty much exclusively, where this kind of stuff's going down? I know we're having the conversation about, cops shooting George Floyd, cops shooting Dante, Wilson, is that his name? It's like they televise every single black guy that gets killed by a white cop in a Democrat city. They air that stuff on TV. It's like you want to see every single black guy that gets killed by the cops on TV. Meanwhile, the week that George Floyd got killed, I think it was something like 80 shootings were in Chicago, in the South Side. And I think probably, I might be wrong, but I'm sure it was at least 20 of those people died. You want to talk about white supremacy. These leftists, these white leftists claim, Democrats, they claim that they have white privilege. And by claiming white privilege, they're claiming also that they are innately racist. And by claiming they're innately racist and have privilege, they're making the claim that they are supreme. They are better than black people. And therefore, it puts them in a position of advantage over these black people. So they're making the claim that they are racists, they are white supremacists, and therefore they need to virtue signal themselves into giving up their position or lending money or giving a house to a black family or something, like that. That's what they're telling their black allies. And they're also making the claim that anybody with a certain skin color, white, is born racist by blood. And who else have you heard say some stuff like that? Well, the Nazis said stuff like that. The Nazis said that a certain group of people were guilty by blood, evil by blood, ugly by blood, inferior by blood. It sounds kind of like that same NAZI type behavior. Coca-Cola is trying to pull some sort of fascist, which is, when I say fascist, I mean not Trump. I mean fascist as in, as Mussolini described it, everything under the state, nothing outside of it. So that means corporations, like Mr. Schindler, corporations funding and being suppliers to the government, doing the dirty work for them. Coca-Cola used to produce, Coca-Cola used to bring Coke, the drink, to these big Klan rallies. They'd fund these Klan rallies. They'd bring 500 cases of Coca-Cola to the Klan rally. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood, would give speeches at Klan rallies. She was a self-avowed eugenicist, just like Bill Gates, Bill Gates' dad was the chairman for Planned Parenthood. Look it up. These people are part of that English eugenicist society that was real popular in World War II prior to Nazi Germany's rise, or during it. That's why I think the English let Hitler go so far, is because, they halfway agreed with him until he, invaded Poland. Hell, they probably agreed with him until they saw the Holocaust camps. And some people will dispute all that, and they're, do whatever you want, but look, the same party, the Democrat Party, who Hitler lifted his plan for the final solution from the Democrats. Look, the Democrats coined the term ghettos. That's where they had all blacks in America living in ghettos. Weren't there ghettos in Warsaw? Hitler knew that he couldn't colonize any new places because the English had pretty much done all that already. So he figured, hey, I need to expand over to Poland. I need to expand into France. I'm going to take back the Rhineland. He was just doing what Andrew Jackson did with the Indians. He just came in and took it. And then also instilled in his people a form of supremacy in order to justify them taking the land. Like, hey, you've got to defend this land. You're a white man. You know, that's what Andrew Jackson said to the settlers out there in the Wild West when they'd be holding down the lands that the Indians were in. They're like, you've got to fight for your land because you're supreme. You've got to fight these savages. This is what Andrew Jackson and the Democrat Party, the founder of the Democrat Party, preached out in the Wild West. It's exactly what Hitler did. Now, the Democrat Party was a little too hardcore for the Nazis, because the Nazis, you know, the Democrats were like, oh, if you're one drop of black in your blood, you're black, right? The one drop rule. We all know that, all the terms, octoroon, all that stuff. If you have one drop, maybe you can pass as white, but you're black if you have one drop. Well, now the Nazis were like, hey, that's a little too harsh because we might have some Jewish grandparents, so they didn't even go that hard. So, I mean, that's just something to think about. Look into the final solution, because he lifted that from the Democrat plantation plan that the Democrats already had in place in America. That inspired the Nazis. So, if you believe that you're a racist by birth, you're evil, inherently racist, and you are superior to said blacks because by, some sort of birthright, you're superior, and therefore you should get out of the way and be an ally. I mean, that's the soft bigotry of low expectations. First of all, that's also taking free agency away from individuals. Hence the communist, cultural Marxist, bent of language that's even involved in that sort of thinking. I mean, that's crazy to even claim. But what do I know? Stupid, simple arguments. Here we go again. I'll see y'all next video. Take it easy.